Welcome to this video tutorial, 10-mark item question about the functions of crime. As always, massive thank you for watching. If you like it, click that like button. Have any questions, comment or email. And lastly, subscribe if you want to get new videos as they are posted. So here is the question that I will be discussing today. 2 functions of crime in society today using that item. This question appears as question 3 on paper 3, Crime and Deviance with Theory and Methods paper, and the 10-mark question for crime will always have an item. So let's have a quick reminder of what the 10-mark question is as it appears on all 3 papers. Paper 1 in the education section, paper 2, each of the topics will have a 10-marker, one with an item and one without, and in paper 3, the crime section. So you will need 15 minutes to answer, 7.5 minutes per paragraph. Make sure you've got 2 equally balanced paragraphs. Read the item carefully. It will provide the hooks. Make sure you quote them. The hooks are placed by the examiner for you to develop and add your knowledge to. Also look for the question hooks because this will give you further opportunity to show your application of knowledge. So in a question like this, it is essential that you select your point from the item and apply your knowledge to it. These are called the hooks and they help you answer the question. So pause this video now so you can read the question and the item and have a go at finding the hooks. Just make some notes, what AO1 knowledge might you apply to answer this question, and when you're ready, join back. So this is a perfect question to practice from because it gives you 3, possibly 4 hooks. But as you can see, you can apply your knowledge in different ways. For example, the point crime being functional for society could link to more than one function. You could link it to Cohen's explanation, suggesting that crime indicates that one of the institutions isn't working, which then means the strategies can be put in place in order to correct them, which then benefits everybody. Or the function could link to Davis's idea of the safety valve, protecting the society and protecting the family. So how do we put these into a paragraph? So I'm going to refer to the piece paragraph, and I teach my students this. The P is your point. So in this case, it's what you've found from the item. The first function of crime is. Then the E is explain it. So using sociologists and key terms. A is where you apply an example of this function. You see is your comment. So link it back to the second part of the question. Why is it relevant in society? Because. And then the E is your however. And with an item, you can offer a criticism. But please work with your teacher to find the best way to structure your paragraphs. Here, I just aim to ensure that you answer the question set and you hit all the skills. So by identifying the function and explaining it, you get your AO1. When you quote from the item and apply examples, you get AO2. And your comment and your however links to AO3 of analysis and evaluation. So let's have a look at a student paragraph. So here's a typical paragraph. This is written by one of my students that I've got permission to use, and she took 7.5 minutes to write this paragraph. She handwritten it. So let's have a look at the applying the skills. Okay, so she starts off firstly with the P. She quotes it from the item. It's very, very clear, and she has chosen the one that says sanctions are not there to simply punish offenders. They convey other messages as well. Then she starts to explain it. So she's applying Durkheim and his idea that crime is inevitable, and concludes that linking the idea of a message being conveyed, it reaffirms the boundaries. And this ultimately leads to boundary maintenance. So we've got a lovely keyword there. And she explains what boundary maintenance is that these are sanctions, and I could even add in formal sanctions that are put in place as punishment for committing a crime. Got a lovely amount of AO1 there leading from that item. And then what the student does is that she offers an example of what that function might be. So she recognises that it could be public hanging, and she shows a little bit of knowledge of this because it's no longer used in the UK, but it is an example of a formal sanction that reaffirms the public values. But then she applies further knowledge, and it's a little bit of analysis this as well, because she's saying that there are other punishments which might include jail time or fines. Then she then says, and she starts to comment and link it to the second part of the question. Why is it relevant in society today? Because basically it puts people off. It acts as a deterrent. It lowers the crime rate and it ensures that people maintain that value consensus. It reaffirms the boundaries. It reaffirms the values, what society think is right and wrong. And then finally, we have got the AO3 with the evaluation. It does assume that everybody shares the same norms and values, this value consensus, and this is not always the case. So despite the sanctions, and this is what's quite nice because she's used sanctions quite a few times throughout the paragraph, people will continue to commit crime whilst disregarding the consequences. So is that boundary maintenance effective basically as a function? So as you can see, a really nice paragraph, and then tried to show how this student has hit all the skills. And then the second paragraph will follow a similar structure, linking to another hook from the item. So now it's your turn. Have a go at writing an answer, follow the guidance, have a go and write a second paragraph. So as always, massive thank you for watching. If you do have any questions or comments, pop them below. Click that like and subscribe. And at the bottom, I've included some other videos to do with crime and deviance that you might find useful. There's one on globalisation and green crime, and there is one on the functions of punishment, which might be a nice follow-on from this one. Have a great day. Goodbye.